In a world chock full of buggy, unfinished AAA games, PlayStation has honestly managed to stay above the rest by bringing some of the highest quality, most engrossing storytelling available across any of the platforms. And while the world's most profitable company is busy putting out this, Sony Santa Monica is hitting the high bar and delivering in spades. God of War Ragnarok isn't just a sequel, it's a second part of a two-piece epic unlike any gaming thing that we've ever seen. A masterclass in storytelling, bringing engrossing world building, immersive dialogue, and some of the best combat in the business. Now, I'm going to do my best to avoid talking about any of the story parts that could be considered spoilers, because I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but I plan to return to the topic of Kratos and his journey sometime next year, because I love it that much. Because this game is truly something special. A nearly perfect game from every aspect, and a fitting cap to the Norse story of God of War.
Ready.
From the very first frame, Ragnarok draws you back in with his outstanding acting, bringing more kick and emotion than ever before. Kratos' only goal is to protect and prepare his son for a war he hopes he never has to see. And you can feel it with every line from Christopher Judge's excellent performance. Their home is no longer safe, and so they must once again set out together to seek answers in safety. And this is what I love about this game. It doesn't waste your time. Even when things feel slow, there is always something happening. Little pieces of subtle dialogue when you're traversing build the deeper lore of the world. Standing around near vendors or other allies often reveal unique interactions. Everything builds on the story. And there's so much lore to uncover here. Side quests that build character development better than some TV shows do in their entire season, and gorgeously realized worlds that glow and glisten with pure artistry. Details down to subtle parts of Atreus' outfit give meaning to how he's lived in this world. Returning characters like Freya and Sindri get real moments to shine, delivering outstandingly incredible acted performances that bring real depth to their characters. Common themes pulling them together as conflicting ideals drive them apart. All set in the single most awe-inspiring, detail-packed game environments I have ever seen. And it's a good thing that this game didn't ship with a photo mode, or, I'd have spent the entire runtime doing that instead of ever completing the story, and this review would never happen. More than anything, God of War marries all of this fantastic, engaging storytelling with gameplay, sound design, and soundtrack that is compelling and thrilling all the way from start to finish.
There he is. There's the God of War.
What is astounding is how good the base combat of God of War is. That satisfying combo of brutal, weighty strikes mixed with one of the most gratifying ranged combat systems ever devised, offering lots of freedom while never falling into a clunky moveset. Then, you add in the tools you get along the way in this game, and combat opens up like never before, offering a frenzy of flashy attacks but never getting you stuck into a scripted sequence. You have versatility and control that grant you some excellent improv opportunities, while still delivering cinematic moments. One of the best improvements here is in enemy variety. As Kratos and Atreus roam the 9 realms, each one introduces new threats that then get added into a mix of enemies that can be called on for further combat engagement later on in the game. This keeps the game fresh throughout, remedying the first part of the common complaint about the first game, which was that they kept reusing enemies and boss fights. Which, that second thing, the boss fights, is something I think Sony Santa Monica took very personally, because this game contains enough unique and bastard hard boss fights to fill out 2 or 3 God of War games. And each one of those fights culminates in some of the most challenging combat in the series to date. Not that that matters when exploring is so immersive and enthralling. I mean, look, like I said before, this game's graphics and art direction are just on a completely other level. Fimbulwinter has set in and you can really see and feel its effects everywhere. Snow encroaches in on every inch of Midgard. Helheim is as cold and depressing as ever. Svartalheim is like an industrial complex built into the middle of a giant beautiful oasis. Vanaheim's overgrown world of nature, entangled with man-made structures drenched in vines and deadly neon-colored plant life, all of which are offering some of the most gorgeous scenery yet, which acts as an excellent backdrop for some of the most beautiful moments of character growth in the entire series. Each realm brings with it a unique aesthetic, and all of them are, like I said, just so beautiful. What's another word for beautiful? It's pretty. Yeah, they're very pretty. Look, don't take my word. Look at this, right? I'm not crazy, that's beautiful. These locations go beyond environmental storytelling. They are the part of the story. Characters interact with them as though they are co-stars, treating their history mythos as personality traits. All this driving your want to see and learn more about them, which is what makes the side content here so unbelievably good. Instead of a meandering side quest where some random guy asks you to bring like a pig or some shit, Ragnarok offers glimpses into character psyches that have real meaning. Freeing giant beasts, undoing past sins, and making up for lost time. There's not a single one of these side quests that is wasted moments. Most games have a pacing that goes something like this. Dude, you better hurry up, your friend's about to die. The bad guy's taking over the world. You better hurry. But also, don't forget to try out the new RC driving game, or this chicken Tekken mode that we made. Have a good time on the way to this very time-sensitive apocalypse. Thank you. Meanwhile, God of War is over here incorporating the main story into every aspect of its design. There's never any rush because to a certain extent, you are in control of the pacing, and helping people ultimately serves your end goal. Hands down, and it's not even close, this is the best side content I have ever played.
Kratos? Snack?
I do not need a snack.
Look, a lot of this story may on paper sound familiar, but I promise you the way it's delivered makes that paper seem like an idiot for suggesting that this game is anything less than exceptional. During all of this story, one thing stands out above all, and that is the performances. Not a single actor or character in this game isn't giving it their 115% all. Christopher Judge brings stoic passion to Kratos as he grapples once again with fate and having a teenager, which, you know, I mean, come on, that's a rough deal. Meanwhile, Sonny Soljic, I hope I said that right, delivers a fantastic turn as an older and yet somehow more optimistic Atreus who just wants to have the answers he seeks. Danielle Bisutti screams back into action as the scorned goddess Freya, bringing some of the most devastatingly emotional moments. Even characters who weren't given much development solo in the first game bring their A-game acting chops as both Brock and Sindri offer nuanced performances showing some real range. If you want to talk about range, man, let's talk about Odin. Because Odin being played by Richard Schiff of West Wing fame isn't even something I knew I wanted until I had it. His combination of ominous power and quirky sarcasm works on so many levels. Like, you know you can't trust him, but man, is he making some compelling arguments right now. Like, I mean, are you hearing him? He's kind of, I'm inclined to agree with him a little bit. You can go over there. Backing up all the hardcore acting is a system of excellent camera work, fantastic animation, and sound design that sells every footstep. Which, speaking of sound, the last thing I want to touch on is Bear McCreary's gorgeous orchestrated soundtrack. After hearing the opening theme all the way back in ancient times of 2016's reveal, I knew McCreary was a perfect fit for this universe. The Gregorian-styled chants provide gravitas to every scored section. Combat music is intense as strings ramp up the speed and aggression, all while backed by McCreary's signature worldly influence instrument choices. Powerful brass instruments impact with thundering percussion, painting this picture in perfect timing. I really can't get enough of how truly fantastic this soundtrack is, and Blood on the Snow in particular hits me right in the heart. God of War Ragnarok is the kind of game that is so special and unique in the AAA gaming space because it's a AAA game that is actually very, very, very good. It's a rare gem crafted by powers at the height of their talent, unfolding its story of defiance in the face of prophecy like an intricately woven but intimately made tapestry. bringing its all-star cast so many opportunities to explode and shine as you wind towards what the game wants you to believe is an inevitable conclusion, but one whose actual ending culminates in a glorious unfurling of set pieces, delivering one of the most memorable stories in modern gaming. All of this mixed with expertly crafted combat, enthralling worlds full of captivating stories, makes Kratos' final journey in Ragnarok one you won't want to put the controller down for the entire run through, all the way up to the final moments, and then you can sit back in your chair and say, now that's pod racing. God of War Ragnarok sets the new bar for storytelling in the medium and earns its rank as a masterpiece, a perfect 10 out of 10. Well, a nearly perfect achievement.